preface this video by saying that I adore Stephco. I mean, I don't know Stephanie, but you know, I'm a big fan of her content. I watch everything she posted. Even the other day, I listened to her talk for 30 minutes about like the school system in America. Bear in mind, I've never even been to America and I'm never going there. I mean, no, as long as, you know, the yellow man is your president. I'm a Patreon of hers, even though, you know, she may remove me after seeing this video, which is okay. That's her prerogative. And to those of you who are going to be like, you use her name for clickbait, so so what? Okay, Stephco is a public figure. She understands by putting herself out there that people are going to be making response videos to her videos. The same way I understand that, you know, you have the right to make a response video to this video, or you could be in the comment section down below calling me ugly or anything but a child of God, like y'all did the last time, okay? But no, I didn't actually use Steph's name in the title because I want to use it for clout or whatever. I used her name in the title, or I'm planning on using her name in the title as I'm still recording this, because I actually want the women who can relate to her, who usually relate to her content, what she says about not having pretty privilege, to see this video. So that is why I actually included her name in the title of the video. And I want you all to see this video because I think this video can help you, because I used to be y'all, okay? Now that I got all my disclaimers out of the way, let's get into it. I actually used to be Stephco and think just like her. You know, I discovered her, like most of you, with her pretty privilege video. I actually seen the video long before it went viral. I've talked about this in the first response video I made to hers, and I think one of the reasons why I have kept watching and I've kept, you know, bonding with everything that she posts is because I used to be just like her. I used to think just like her. So I was born in Dakar, Senegal in 1989, and at the time colorism was well and kicking. Okay, now I know it's still alive and well, but you know, today colorism actually gets some pushback. Okay, you cannot actually come out here and say anything you want about black women without getting a tremendous amount of pushback. You may even get cancelled, you may lose quite a bit of money just as Target. Okay, it's not like before where you could just get on Twitter and say whatever you want and actually not be punished or face any type of repercussion. Okay, like today you can't do that. You know, not on Cameron's internet, right? Today Beyonce is singing about brown skinned girls. Like, the time have changed. But in the early 90s, when I was just a child, it was okay to tell people how they were too dark and they look like a burnt toast, okay? You know, a lot of people, a lot of immigrants, for example, Nigerians, Ghanaians, the videos that I've seen come on YouTube all the time and talk about how they were told African booty scratchers, you know, as children in America going to school, etc, etc, right? I also had a larger, flatter nose at the time, and you know, I was bullied a lot. I was bullied by my own father, like my own sperm donor, like I like to call him, even though, you know, I look just like him. Like, he would bully me. People would burst into our house and they would tell my mom, oh my god, your daughter's so dark. You know, and she would just get along. I mean, she would just not say anything, right? Which is horrible for your children's self-esteem. Like, she didn't join them in mocking my skin tone, but she just wouldn't say anything at all. So I was left feeling like maybe something was wrong with the way that I looked. And you know, I was bullied relentlessly at school. Oh my god, I have a video about this, about how I was ostracized, isolated. You know, don't nobody want to associate with ugly, right? It robs of you. So I was never invited to any party, any birthday party, or anything going on. Like, I was never included. Like, oh my god, you want to invite her? Oh my god, like, it's just there, nobody's coming. Like, I was really the dog sheep, the black sheep of, you know, I guess my class. Like, nobody wanted really to talk to me. Be even seen with me would, you know, get you to lose like cool points. Like, I was really ostracized and isolated and excluded, bullied, and made fun of. I'm sorry I'm laughing about this. Like, it's a trauma response. If I don't laugh about it, I'm gonna cry about it, and you know, there's no way in hell I'm gonna ruin my bits, period. I tend to laugh about traumatic stories, a coping mechanism that, you know, Steph and I even actually have in common. So as I was being bullied, ostracized, isolated in high school, I started thinking, what if I was pretty? Shout out to maladaptive daydreaming. Maladaptive daydreaming really got me through some dark times. It got me through, you know, my teens and even some of my early 20s. So I would think about this. As sad as it sounds, I would actually daydream during class, when I was, you know, on my way home. All day, every day, I would think about what my life would be if I was pretty. This is why I understand when Steph talk about what she believed the reality of attractive women is. Even though I believe it is far-fetched, I don't think that, you know, what she believes is the reality of an attractive woman actually is their reality, or it's maybe the reality of, you know, 0.0000001% of attractive women. And, you know, said women have to be like extremely like attractive, like drop that gorgeous, like undeniable type beauty. And even then, you know, attractive women have grievances. We have problems. Like, you know, life is lifing for everybody. Okay, one thing about life, it's fair in the sense that, you know, it is unfair to everybody, no matter where you are on the beauty hierarchy totem pole or where you are on the wealth totem pole. Like, I mean, didn't Cristiano Ronaldo and his wife lose a child? Like, that is one of the worst things that could ever happen to you. And they have all the money in the world. Okay, if money could have saved people from grievances or loss or pain, they wouldn't lose their baby. Okay, and I'm using wealthy people as an example because I believe that wealth is somehow a little bit like beauty. Like, of course, wealth is a lot more powerful. In my opinion, it's a much bigger privilege. Being wealthy is a much bigger privilege than being pretty. But, you know, both are privileges and both are quite coveted, you know, in society. A lot of people do want to be, you know, pretty, wealthy. And I believe they are similar in the sense that a lot of people do romanticize what it is to be either, right? I think that people really romanticize what it is to be super duper wealthy. Like, a lot of people think all of their problems would disappear if they had money. And, you know, I guess if all their problems are money related, you know, if they're only struggling with rent, food, and stuff like that, granted, okay, money would actually solve all of their problems. But, you know, generally people have more problems than, you know, just food and rent and stuff like that. If you're dealing with mental health issues, for example, being a gazillionaire is not going to change that. I actually know somebody who is extremely wealthy. Like, I have family members of mine who is a multi-millionaire, and baby, why do people be going through it? It's all I'm gonna say. It's all I'm gonna say. But where was I? Sorry, I have ADHD. So as I was saying, you know, I used to daydream about being pretty. There was this scene that I would imagine all the time. You know, I started visualizing it when I was around 11 years old maybe, and it would be somebody. For whatever reason, it was always a woman. Maybe because I wanted to be part of, you know, of the girl clique, of the mean girls group of my class or my school. But yeah, it would be a woman coming to me and being like, oh my god, you're so pretty. And it's something that I visualized so many times. I would think about it all the time. And yes, I know this is really sad, but it's the truth. I would think about it all the time, day in, day out. I would think about it a lot. I would daydream about it, you know, about somebody coming to me and telling me, oh my god, you're so pretty. And I actually remember the first time it happened. So I was 32 years old and I was celebrating my birthday at one of my favorite Italian restaurants with my friends. And me and one of my friends, we were outside. So the rest of my friend was in the restaurant, but me and one of my friends, we were outside, and a woman came to me, a Caucasian woman, and she was like, oh my god, you're so pretty. And actually it made me really, really sad, which is not what I thought would happen. The day, you know, my manifestation finally comes to life, I actually remember excusing myself after saying thank you, of course, going to the bathroom, and I started crying. You know, it wasn't like a big ugly cry. Again, I wasn't trying to ruin my face, okay, but you know, it was a little cry. I'm not even fan of front, right? So, you know, it's not always going to be what you think it's going to be in life, but whatever. So yeah, I actually really, really understand Steph, you know, because again, I used to be her. I have a lot of similar experiences to her. I find that hers are like really hard and harsh in comparison to mine, you know, when she talks about what people have done to her or made her go through because they didn't find her, deem her, or perceive her as unattractive. But, you know, I've been through a lot myself because people didn't find me or deem me or perceive me as attractive when I was a teen, and you know, even a little bit as a young adult. So I'm making this video where I'm being real vulnerable with you about my life and childhood, because I actually wish I seen a video like this when I was 19 years old. I believe that it would have changed the trajectory of my life, that I would have taken the measures necessary to change my life much earlier in my life, and I would have gone for my goals, my dream, my aspiration much younger in my life, probably around 26, 27, that I would have been a lot more confident in my younger age. So I'm sharing with you that. And what I'm about to say is gonna sound really harsh, so brace yourself, but whining all day about pretty privilege is not gonna change a dang thing, okay? You are unattractive. Now what? So what? Like, the world does not care. And I know, again, this sounds really harsh, and it is not my purpose to hurt you, but I want you to open up your eyes and see that nothing is gonna happen. Like, nobody is coming to save you. If you stay in a dirty room filming some TikTok complaining about being ugly, nothing is gonna happen. Okay, once in a while, sure, somebody's gonna go viral talking about that type of stuff, but everybody who complains about being ugly in a dirty room is not gonna go viral. Algorithms just don't work like that. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? If you want something in life, go after it. Chase that dream like you chased that man who didn't want to. And I know that being deemed as, viewed as, perceived as beautiful may sound like an insignificant dream to many, and you know, that's normal, that's okay. If you always had money, you're not going to understand, you know, why it would be so important to somebody who never had any, to somebody who literally have eviction notice at their door, to somebody who struggle to eat or feed their children, right? So I don't expect people who've always been deemed worthy in the way that they look to understand what I'm talking about, but this video is not for you all anyways. Most people who feel that way, I think, are not going to click on this video, right? This video is going to be shown, I believe, to the algorithm, mostly to people who could relate to Stephco's content, people like myself, and I hope it helps you realize that out of all privileges, pretty privilege may be the most attainable one, right? If you're not born white, you're just not going to be white, okay? And that's Mary the Lane, right? But you can actually do something about your looks. You can change them if you want. And yes, absolutely, you get to opt out. You know, I have a friend who did that. I have a friend who said, I'm not interested. I don't actually want to participate in all the beauty Olympics. I don't think I can ever win. I don't think I can ever fit your beauty standards, you know, so I'm just gonna opt out. And she lives this normal life. She lives a beautiful life. Like, she's partnered, she has a daughter, she owns the apartment she lives in, with a lot of women with pretty privilege cannot actually say. Like, average looking women live exceptional lives. Like I mentioned Sarah Jessica Parker in the last video. Sarah Jessica Parker's lifestyle is unattainable to most, okay? It's unattainable and will always be unattainable to women who look 10 times better than she ever will, okay? So if you actually choose to opt out of the beauty politics, if you're not going to do what it takes, and I know how much people hate pulling yourself by the bootstrap mentality, in order to be viewed as, deemed as, perceived as beautiful, then rest, get peace. Stop complaining about pretty privilege every single day. Don't you know that your body re-experienced a trauma when you talk about it again? Like, what is rehearsing the fact that you don't have it gonna do for you? And you know, far away from me giving myself the right to tell Stephanie what I believe she can complain about or not, but I believe it is hurtful for her and anybody who's going to do this, you know, who's going to over and over again complain about how they don't have something. There are many things I don't have, and that's okay. Like, I would only hurt myself getting up every day and thinking and talking about how I don't have them and how I wish I have had them, and how what having them would have done for me, and what having them would have changed for me. And you know, I believe there's room for that. I believe there's room for that grief in therapy. But even there, you know, my therapist has told me sometimes with a similar issue that I have, you know, it's the father wound, and I'm going to talk about it in a dedicated video, where I would always rehearse what it would have felt like having a father that actually cared, that actually loved me, that actually blah 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 blah. And you know, I would bring it up every single time. And I remember my therapist telling me, like, you understand that you are re-traumatizing yourself every time that you bring this up, this grievances, that you have to grieve this once and for all. And I felt she was a bad therapist for telling me this, but when I actually did that, I actually felt better. Like, I feel more free today. I can talk about it with a lot more ease than back then when I would rehearse it daily, right? You have a choice. You can choose to participate in beauty Olympics, and anybody can do this. I don't care what you look like. Anybody can be a 6.5. And yes, I know using numbers in order to describe people is problematic, but anybody, it doesn't matter where you're starting from. We know what attractive people look like. I'm not going to get into it. It's the Ryan Destinies of the world, it's the Kendall Rand of the world, it's the Naomi Campbell of the world, it's the Justin Sky of the world. Study them, okay? If you want to look like them, study them. Study Lori Harvey, whatever her name is. Like, you can do it. Anybody can do it. It's not actually that hard, right? You know, I can think of 2 things Steph could do right now that would actually change the way she looks, you know, that would help her benefit a lot more from pretty privilege or whatever it is. I'm not going to name them because she has been, you know, crystal clear about not wanting people giving her suggestions, but it's not that hard. Like, being pretty in 2025 is very attainable for anybody. We know, again, what beautiful people look like. We know what's needed. Find a flattering hairstyle, you know, keep your nails done, learn how to do your makeup, keep your weight in check. Okay, there's a reason why Lori Harvey always lived in a Pilates studios. Like, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Let's not pretend as if it was this super complicated math equation, because it really isn't. It's actually not that hard. I have done it, and anybody can do it. It's not that hard. Just assess yourself. Be honest with yourself. If you can't do it, then see a plastic surgeon. And I know this is unpopular opinion. I know some people are not gonna like this, but plastic surgery is not for dogs. Okay, it is for human beings. It hasn't been invented for dogs. Like, it's for humans. If being viewed as deemed as positive as unattractive is really ruining your life, then maybe you should consider it. If you can afford it, right? Why not? Of course, do your research. Make sure, you use a plastic surgeon that has been certified by the board. Or maybe all you need, is a little bit of just injections in order to balance your face out. I don't know. But what I don't want for you is for you to be sad and I don't want to be here all day, because at this point I'm just rambling and my camera is dying out. But my point is, if you want pretty privilege, do something about it. If you want to go to Yale or Harvard, do something about it. If you want to become a comedian and have a Netflix series, do something about it. Life is not happening to you. As a matter of fact, you are happening to life. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know what you thought. If you come for my look in the comment section down below, I'm going to block you. Okay, I'm not going to do what I did last time with y'all. I'm not going to play with y'all. If you want to call me ugly, then you'll have to create your own video, just like I did, with your face in it, just like I did, talking about Stephco, and then call me ugly in it. Because if you do in this comment section, I will remove your comment. I will block you from further accessing my channel, because anonymity has y'all's bald. Okay, none of y'all would actually call me ugly to my face. I don't care. I don't care. People should actually have to post the picture before they talk of other people look online, because listen, baby, do not forget to subscribe as well, and I will talk to you girls soon, and very, very soon. Bye, girls. Thanks for watching. Mwah.